Hey, folks.
Hey.
Welcome to Good News York. I'm your host, Matt Masur, founder of Growth Mode Content. Joined with me by my luckily clothed friend.
Yes.
Mikey B.
I chose clothes today. Some people
Thank you.
wake up and choose violence. I choose clothing.
All right, so that reminds me, I got to tell this story. I wasn't going to tell this story, but now I have to.
All right.
So last week, I brought the family to a Syracuse Crunch game.
Nice.
Go local sports team.
Sports.
They lost. But they were in competition with the Rochester Amerks.
Yes. Amerks.
Amerks.
That's how you
Because apparently people in Rochester can't spell the entire word of our nation.
Nope.
Why Americans is so difficult, I don't know. Anyway, worst team name ever. And they won. So listen, I can shit on them a little bit, right? You know what I mean? So anyway, we're sitting there. And my family, my girls wanted to go to a hockey game. So we're not a huge sports family, but yeah, you know, that sounds fun. And out of all live sports, as we've talked about, I'm not a huge sports guy. Of all live sports, hockey to me is the one that I am most easily talked into. It's fun. It's interesting. It does move relatively quickly with the exception of the 20-minute breaks between periods. Mm-hmm. It's a good game, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, we go. My wife actually got us real good seats. We were literally 3 rows back. From the glass, great view. We get in, we sit down, we're sort of the middle of the row. My kids go in first, my wife, me, I sit down, and right next to me is this lady who is a big Amerks fan, right?
Amerks.
Whatever the fuck their shitty name
I'm
is.
trying to help you.
She's got the jersey on, and she is very enthusiastic. I mean, she is one of these screaming at the top of her lungs every time her team comes to our end of the ice.
Yelling Helen.
Oh, my God. Like, whistling, got this high-pitched dog whistle that I'm pretty sure made the glass crack in front of us. It was insane. But anyway, this woman, biggest fan Rochester has.
Sure.
She's going crazy for the team. They score. Right? They score in front of us, and now she really goes nuts. She stands up, she starts screaming, and she grabs the jersey.
No, she doesn't.
And I'm just, oh, my God, this woman's going to pull her top off or something. Like, I got children here.
Sure.
Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, she's going to dump them.
It was just the jersey. She had a tie-dye T-shirt on underneath, and apparently the thrill of their first point was too much for her to handle, and she just had to shed the jersey.
Wow.
Craziest shit I ever saw. Sits down in the tie-dye for the rest of the game, still hooping and hollering. Wildest part, we get to the break in between periods, you know. Zamboni comes out. She whips out a novel.
No.
And casually, quietly reads pages from her book.
What the fuck?
It was the most fucked up thing I'd ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah. You know, I'm at a loss for words.
Go Rochester.
I mean, that is such. Is dichotomy the right word?
It was the weirdest thing I ever.
Like to go from, I'm so inspired by a goal being scored that I'm going to potentially scare all of you into thinking I'm going to flop my boobies out. To like I'm just going to catch up on a few chapters of my book in between.
It was
puzzling.
So weird, man.
Yeah,
so weird.
I went to,
but clearly the biggest. She must have. You know, season tickets, and she's following the team, obviously.
So
it's wild.
Is it fair to say you became more interested in her than the game?
I was more scared by her.
How close was she to you? Like couple
literally
rows?
The one sitting next to me.
Oh, she was next to you.
Yes, I shared an armrest with this woman.
Oh, Jesus,
right.
That's next level,
right?
Because that can be it can be scary when you're a few rows away, let alone right next to you.
Like I'm like, what is? You know, the whole time we're that close, my only concern was like a puck coming over the glass and bonking one of my kids on the head or some shit. I did not expect to be concerned about some woman. Going buck wild next to me. Which normally you'd think I'd be into, but
yeah, I have a theory on this, and you know, I'm a New York Rangers fan, but because I follow the Bills, I listen to Bills sports radio, and occasionally they'll talk about the Buffalo Sabres. The Buffalo Sabres are bad. I mean, really, really bad. Organizationally bad. Like, not just on the ice, the decisions they make. I feel bad, you know. As a Rangers fan, I don't give a shit. But, you know, as a Bills fan, I feel, because it's the same fans.
Yeah.
they've been talking, usually on days where they talk about the Sabres, they've been talking about the Amerks, the Rochester Amerks.
Okay.
And I've come to the conclusion that the Sabres are so god-awful, and that city and that area loves hockey so much that the Amerks, for the time being, have kind of replaced the Sabres for them. So I think...
Well, they're close enough.
Yeah, they're close enough in the market. I think what you're seeing is a very passionate fan who normally would be doing this at Sabres games that has to just take all of this frustration, excitement, all of it all together.
You think this is a displaced Buffalo fan?
There it is.
Saying.
That's a better way to put it. That's what it's got to be.
I mean,
it's got all the makings of a Buffalo fan.
Might be.
Minus the reading book.
Good luck charm. I mean, they won, right?
Sure.
It's
I don't know.
Who knows? You think they
I'm
know
glad.
her?
You know what? But you are.
Because she knows that. She's one of the ones that's like yelling the players' names as they're skating by and shit.
Well, there's also an element of every single minor league team that I've ever visited, I've been to a game to, there's always at least one lifer that everybody knows.
Local
Do you
super fan.
remember, it wasn't Utica Devils, was it the Comets? There was the Chicken Man in Utica.
I vaguely remember this.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that you even vaguely remember it means that's what it was. He was the chicken. Like, there's always the one fan in the minor leagues that becomes the...
At Syracuse, there were some dudes with hard hats. That was a thing?
Exactly, yes.
I don't remember exactly the whole deal with that.
So I think what you're witnessing is somebody who is or is really trying to be that fan. And I'm not pooping on that at all.
Listen,
we need those.
She clearly was having the time of her life, and good for her.
I don't know about the book thing, though. That kind of ruins all of it.
It's so weird.
That is very strange.
So weird.
Like, I'm trying to think of
the second weirdest thing that woman did.
Is there a weirder place to read a book? I'm trying to think.
I don't like. I understand. You're bored, whatever. You don't feel like getting up. You don't. I don't know. You use a restroom, get a drink, whatever. But like,
I don't like to.
As a sports fan, as a hockey fan, like, isn't there enough going on that you're interested in to? Oh, let me read the next chapter of.
And to go from that level of excitement down to the other end of the spectrum.
Borderline psychotic in my unprofessional opinion.
But listen, you also just did me a huge service, and I love you for that. And that is, I was just talking the other day about, it might have actually been on here. To me, the greatest live sport is hockey, bar none. And the toughest athletes in the world are hockey players. Those guys will get stitched up after lacerating their throats and head right back into the game. And you, who have openly said, I'm not a sports fan, are like, dude, I love hockey. If you're going to get me to go to a live event, it really is. It's nonstop action.
Like I said, it moves along.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
Yeah.
As much as it's fun going to the Mets here because it's local and we can actually get there, like, watching a baseball game is painful to me. Like, it takes 8 years between every swing.
Listen, we talked, we had Jason Smorrell, GM of the Syracuse Mets, on the show last week. We didn't really get into it, but I was alluding to that's why baseball is going through such a struggle right now with keeping the game relevant. Because, dude, baseball was invented long before distractions.
It was it was
America's pastime.
Was to be, your afternoon of entertainment.
There you go.
Not one of many things you do or watch.
And trying to keep a 3-hour event that moves at the pace of a snail relevant in a time where we have cell phones and...
If we're being honest, golf moves faster than baseball.
It honestly does.
Yeah.
That is almost, I got to look it, but pretty factually true right there. I mean,
I have an old roommate who used to say, I could watch golf on TV, but I'd rather be bored.
That's a great saying.
And with that... it's Tuesday Newsday, buddy.
It is Tuesday Newsday.
I have... You have a whole list. Not really breaking news, but great news that I'd love to share first.
Oh, my God.
If
please.
If you don't mind.
Listen, this is your Newsday too, pal.
It is true.
All right.
I do own everything.
You do? What are we going to do? What
Yesterday, Danny and I were very honored to go visit OCC, Onondaga Community College, for those who aren't familiar, for a great ceremony put on by the Small Business Association, the SBA, which is a federal organization, but they have local branches. And this was an awards ceremony for the local region SBA, and they handed out a number of awards to small businesses, including the biggest award. It was like a golden eagle
it was aggressive.
statue thing.
It was aggressive.
Was awarded to our very own Growth Mode content creator, Shawnee Davis from Luminary Electric.
And who deserves it more?
There is no one on earth who deserves any award you come up with. Give her a Tony. She's never been on stage. Give her a Tony anyway.
She should be an EGOT winner.
She is just one of the most incredible humans. One of the things that I love about Shawnee the most is how she is the most humble. Like, best resume, one of the most impressive humans you will ever meet, and you will never pick that up if you meet her. And
she'll give you a big hug.
Casually hang out and just be the most chill person in town, and she's the most important person in town.
Shawnee Davis, her company is Luminary Electric. We are so blessed to have her as a client. You can check out her podcast here at Growth Mode Content, The Current Conversation.
Yeah. And she's got a lot of cool things coming up in that podcast planned, unique things about innovation and technology. And that's the type of thing that they gave her an award for, is not just because she's an incredible businesswoman and broken so many glass ceilings, if they will, on so many different levels, but because her whole goal is to continue to move things forward and make the industry better for people that come after her and for young people and for other women. And, just awesome and the right approach, and it's working. And she's building this massive business. She's one of the contracts they work on. She's helping build your new Bills Stadium.
Yes, she is. I've been picking her brain about that.
How impressive.
Because I'm the idiot that's like, can you get me tickets? Can I go see the... She's like, shut up. I do the electricity. Yeah. But
we make the lights work.
Yeah, we make the lights work. Shut up. What impresses me, one of the many things that impresses me about her is that she's been recognized by President Biden. She's been recognized. Yeah. She's gotten many awards, and all well-deserved. It's a milestone just for a female to do what she's doing in the electrician's field, if I said that correctly, let alone to be a person of color, to represent the LGBTQ plus. But she's not doing it with the sole purpose of, I want to be the first person, I want to be the first female. She's just doing it because this is what she wants to do.
Right.
And all that stuff is secondary.
Sort of a bonus.
It's a bonus. And what she's doing for other women, other people of color.
For, it's just the other side of it.
And she's doing it. She's just doing it right, man. And we're so proud of her. I
love it.
I'm so glad you guys were able to go.
It was a good time.
I looked like an asshole because I had to stay here and do work.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to pay the bills.
Yeah, well.
So anyway.
Anywho.
Shout out to our friend Sean
to Shawnee Davis
and a bunch of other people. Annette Peters, who we haven't talked about, great, also local businesswoman, was recognized there. She owns Syracuse Boat Tours. We got to get her in here because she's got just expanded to an even bigger boat, so you can go on a really cool local ride with food and drinks. And I've heard nothing but great things about her business as well. So.
I'd like to push back on that. I don't think we need to have her in here. I think we need to go on the boat.
She would take us there
and we do the interview on the boat.
We will add that to your list.
Lieutenant Dan!
Mr. Super Producer.
Oh, yeah, Super Producer. Okay. Let's see. Boat ride. Check.
Got it.
So let's kick off the...
What do you got for me,
Tuesday
buddy?
Newsday. Not much, because I'm going to tell you what. Talk about Super Producer. It is very hard to find positive news, which gives us all the more reason to keep doing this. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
But, my work's cut out for me. But I do want to mention, as we get started, some big events happened this weekend.
Yeah.
The Kentucky Derby. Is that on your radar
at all? Is that in New York?
It is not at all in New York. It is in Kentucky. That's why it's called the Kentucky Derby.
Danny, clip this and send this to Kentucky News.
Yeah, Kentucky News York.
Yeah.
Kentucky. I just wanted to say that.
Who won? I guarantee there's goofy horse names, right? You have some goofy horse names?
There are goofy horse names, my friend. I should have the list of horse names in front of me if I was a super producer, but I actually forgot to do that. But I remember there was I don't remember the name of the winner, but there was journalism. There was we're gonna play a game in a second. There was journalism. There was Luxor Cafe. There was Sandman. One I can't pronounce. There's
how do they come up with these names?
Well, horse names, I don't know how they come up with them. I do remember years ago, I don't know what I was listening to, there was a big deal about someone named their horse Hoof, right? H-O-O-F, Hearted, H-E-A-R-T-E-D.
Okay.
Who farted? And there's an announcer going, who farted? Who farted rounds a turn? And who farted? And I'll never forget that.
How many people bet on that because of the name?
Oh, God.
Does that go into it? Does that go in the naming process? Are they thinking about the betting when it comes to race day?
I'm sure that would play a part in it. You got to find something catchy that casual fans like myself will just go, ooh, I like that name. I'll bet on that.
They don't know how to read the stats or anything. They just want who farted.
Yeah, who farted? But that was like decades ago. So I thought we would play a game. There's a chart. If our great producer Danny Tripodi, I found this while I was reading about the Derby. It's what's your Derby horse name? All right, so it's got A to Z.
So this is how to make the name.
This is how to make the name,
Okay.
and this is from the Kentucky Derby website, I believe.
And this is based on your initials.
So it's got A to Z.
Go ahead, jump ahead.
In
Don't
the
even give them a
so it
chance to
says
explain.
first name, and then it's got different names for each letter, A through Z, and then it's got last name, and from A to
All right,
Z.
we know how names work,
Yeah.
so let's
well,
start.
I'm explaining it for listeners.
Fuck them.
All right, so let's go with your horse name first. So,
Okay.
Matt Masur, we're going to M. Your horse name is Tiger. Your
my first
last
horse
name starts with an M, and that is going to be Julep.
Tiger Julep.
Ooh, that's sexy.
It's a little southern.
A little southern?
A little southern horse. A Tiger
Kind of
Julep.
exotic, though.
I'm a hell of a runner, though.
I am also Tiger, but I'm Tiger Whiskey. Hey, now.
Oh, Tiger Whiskey. Tiger Julep is just going to run all over your ass.
Yeah, Tiger Whiskey. Danny, let's check you out. Danny Tripodi.
Oh, yeah.
Coming in to the gate is American Pharaoh. That's
fuck,
an
he
actual
won.
horse. I think that's an actual horse that won American Pharaoh years ago.
That's the winning name.
That's no fun.
Danny,
you got like a legit... All right, Amanda, you're in
Danny
here.
is the prized horse.
Amanda Miller.
She's hiding in the back.
Chief... where is it? She is Chief Julep. This is boring. We all have too many of the same initials.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be way fun.
No, it's not.
I should have went with an unsanctioned list.
Danny's still the winner, though.
Danny is the winner. American Pharaoh was an actual...
If you had to pick a name for a horse that wasn't on that list, what would you call it?
Oh, my God. Well, I'd want Hoof Hearted, but that's already taken. I don't know. Maybe the Mobile Homie.
How about General Herkimer?
Oh, dude. That's great, actually. That's great. Yeah, that would work.
You can call him Nick for short.
Yeah.
That's a history joke.
Da-dun. Oh, well, here.
We'll get all the sound effects on that one.
I don't know. I mean, Mobile Homie, General Herkimer. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. You caught me off guard. I should have had something prepared.
That's all right. Enough horse talk. What else we got?
Well, that's horse shit. The Met Gala happened. Are you familiar with the Met Gala?
Is that a Jason Smorl event?
No, that's Catterday. The Met Gala is a really pretentious event that happens.
Yeah, for real. Like I hear about this thing all the time when it happens. I have no idea what the fuck it is. I'm sort of only half joking when I ask if it's any association with the Mets.
I love you for that because last night I decided, what the fuck is the Met Gala? And I hear about it every year. I watch the highlights and I go, why have I never actually checked? So I did what I'm about to do to you.
All I know is it's got a hell of a red carpet.
It does. I asked my wife,
Is that the whole thing?
what do you think the Met Gala is? And she goes, I don't know. Does it have to do with the Mets? She's a Mets fan.
See?
So she had the same reaction. Turns out, from the outside, all the Met Gala looks like to me and many others is a bunch of celebrities.
Rich people party.
Rich people get dressed up in very pretentious costumes and they go to some event. Turns out, and I'm semi-paraphrasing. This is what it is, but I don't know the exact ins and outs other than it is a fundraiser. Okay, for the Metropolitan Museum of Art's costume department.
Just a particular department, not the whole museum.
Right. therefore, that's why everybody dresses up in those outrageous costumes, because it has to do with costumes. And so, and I'm pretty sure it's the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Either way, it's a costume department, so it gives a little validity to all the pretentious bullshit.
Over the top,
and it is over the top.
Yeah,
Yeah. What would you wear a sweatshirt?
Probably.
You'd probably wear a hoodie.
Yeah.
But you would dress it up. You put like what do these call those? Boutonniere or some shit?
That's a great idea.
You know what I mean? Just a hoodie with a boutonniere. You're like, yeah, I dressed up.
What if I had a hoodie printed like a tuxedo T-shirt? It's just a tuxedo hoodie.
Now you're talking.
See,
now you're talking.
I could pull that off. No, for an event like that, I'd dress up. I'm not John Fetterman. I know how to play the right part when it's time.
Yeah. Yes. Listen, you clean up nicely. I've seen it.
I wouldn't go that far, but I appreciate it.
No, listen. I'm not. Look, that's your style, and I appreciate anyone that has style, whether it's a hoodie or whatever, a sequin dress.
I come from the 90s when, the grunge era.
Yeah.
When, dressing like a homeless man was on trend.
Yeah, it was. Remember when...
it wasn't the worst thing, man.
The thing was, I used to wear the T-shirts with these long-sleeve shirts underneath.
100%.
And then sometimes you would cut the holes in the sleeves so your thumbs would stick out.
I never did the thumb thing because it just annoyed me, but I 100% know what you mean.
And I would wear airwalks, and I get yelled at because I didn't skateboard and I was a poser. It was a whole thing.
It's true. Did you have the chain on your wallet deal?
Listen to this. I wore a chain wallet up until about 5-6 years ago. And
ironically enough, Anthony and I were talking about this recently. Apparently, he was the same. He had the whole. That was honestly a great idea for a security purpose.
That is why
you couldn't lose your fucking wallet.
You can call me a poser for everything else. The reason I wore a chain wallet was because I lost my wallet so many damn times. My grandfather...
I'm surprised you don't strap everything important to yourself.
Oh, fuck. Dude, I should be walking around with chains hanging all over me. My grandfather used to wear a chain. He wore Dickies and a chain. He was a union electrician in New York City. And I thought it was the coolest thing. So when I first saw it, I was like, I want to wear a chain like my grandfather.
Gotcha.
And then I actually started losing my wallet. So I wear this chain for decades.
Yeah.
And then I decide at some point, about 5 years, I go, you know what? I'm done with the chain.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I'm
just not a thing anymore.
It's not a thing. I take the chain off. That week, we go to Myrtle Beach on a family vacation.
This is his wallet.
I get pickpocketed, which I didn't even think was a real thing, dude.
How do you know you got pickpocketed and you didn't just lose it?
So I leave the hotel at night to meet a buddy of mine who was down there at the same time. We're going to meet at this bar.
Yeah.
I'm walking to the bar. Because I always keep patting my ass to make sure the wallet's
100%.
there. Especially now that I'm going chainless, right?
100%.
I'm unguarded. I'm worried. So I start walking down the sidewalk. This guy kind of scoots up next to me, and he's really nice, older guy. And we're talking. And
he interact. It wasn't one of the quick drive-bys.
We're like, he's walking with me. We're interacting, whatever. And then I keep walking. I go to the bar. I get to the bar to show my ID. My wallet's not there. And I'm like, I just had it. I get back, we look all over the place. We retrace my steps. I end up going back to the hotel. I can't get a drink anywhere because I don't have my ID. So
you look like you're 12.
Next morning, yeah, that too. I wake up the next morning. I decide I'm going to call my bank. I think I lost my wallet. Oh, yes, your credit card was tried. Someone tried to use your bank card at an ATM multiple times yesterday. So I go back in my Rolodex and I go, holy shit, this guy pickpocketed me. And by the way, I didn't feel it at all, obviously.
Smooth.
I was honestly impressed. But here's what I'm not impressed about. If you were to take a bank card, why the fuck would you go to an ATM and try to
you need a
countlessly guess the probability of my PIN number instead of just going and buying a pack of smokes at a store? But thank God he did.
To be fair, the chances of your PIN being 1, 2, 3, 4 are solid.
I mean, that is, and I do look like someone that would. But anyway, I don't even know how.
Interesting along those lines. I've never lost my wallet or been pickpocketed, but have also been equally paranoid my whole life.
Yes.
And I've recently solved this problem, and I don't know why it took me so long. I've moved to a front wallet.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a much smaller, it's no longer the fucking fat Rolodex with every card I have in the world. Like I can just grab the ones that I use most often, and it's in my front pocket, where I always know it's right there. It's not easy to slip out. Like it's made me much less paranoid.
So now everyone knows what pocket to grab when they're talking.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to try to take my wallet from my front pocket, I sort of welcome the challenge.
Except they're going to grab that fat hog of yours.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. Danny hates when I say that stuff. I, too, have a front wallet, and I'm going to show you something.
Yeah.
See this?
It's a fucking binder clip.
It's a binder clip. This has been the most solid thing I've used since I got rid of the chain wallet. A friend of mine, Hank, shout out, told me one day I was fumbling around. I got pickpocketed. It was right after I got pickpocketed.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know what to do. Every money clip that I use that I got at a wedding bends. And he goes, dude, use a giant paper clip. I look at this. I highly recommend this. It looks like I don't know what it looks like.
Forget that fancy leather shit.
Forget that fancy leather shit. This has been the most It carries my cards. Apparently, I only have a $5 bill on me right now.
Well, you know.
$10. Yeah, that I will endorse the giant paper.
There you go. There you go.
I don't even know how we got here.
I don't either. What else? We got some news?
So we got some news. Because it is Good News York, we cover everything, right? Western New York, Central New York, Southern Tier, Adirondacks, Capital Region, New York City. Let's head to New York City real quick. They are doing something in the middle of Central Park called the Davis Project. Now, if I was really a legit producer, I would have done my research and figured out what the project is as a whole. But essentially, I'll cut to the chase. They're renovating a part of Central Park.
Okay.
Check this out, man. I got a picture for you. So this is the before picture.
All right.
Okay. So during, I don't know, the fall, spring, there's people doing yoga on the field. It's just this beautiful oval field.
Like a park.
Yep. There's an overlook you can see. You see security there watching. Yeah. Now, when the summer hits, Danny, if you can click to the next picture, it turns into a pool.
Ooh.
A pool. And then they're going to turn it into an ice skating rink in the winter. So you've got a hybrid pool, ice skating rink, field.
So they're adding a new public pool to Central Park, is what you're telling me.
Makes me think.
Are there other public pools in Central? Can you swim in Central Park?
That is a great question.
I'm not a New York City.
Here's the bigger question. Do you want to swim in Central Park?
That was going to be the next logical
Are there enough chemicals
conclusion
to keep the water clean in Central Park?
I mean,
I love New York. Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
you know what goes on there at night.
It's an interesting thing. Are they going to have a diving board?
That's a great question. Great liability.
Right? But that was the best part of the public pool was the diving board.
It was the best part.
You remember? Did you have your school had a pool.
My school? Oh, yeah, we had an indoor pool.
Yeah, you had an indoor pool.
We did, which is a big deal.
We did not. We had a public pool that had nothing to do with the school. We didn't do school swimming, none of that shit.
Yeah.
Ironically, the public pool was near the school, but it didn't open until school was closed anyway. So, and I'm pretty sure they destroyed that since anyway. They tore it down or filled it in.
It's not there anymore. They renovated. I mean, if I go to Herkimer High School now, it's like I don't even recognize it. It's like I never even went there. It's a whole new. I'm happy. It's great. It looks great. There was an indoor pool. I do remember there was a thing. I think it was a 90s phase where we were daring each other to do Spank the Baby off the diving board. Do you remember this?
I'm not sure that I do.
Spank the Baby is where you would jump on the diving board, land on your butt, and then fall in.
Okay.
And so
I've seen that move. I'm not sure I've ever heard it called that.
Yeah, it was called Spank the Baby. I was too afraid to do it, but we talked my buddy Matt Bates into it, who we used to call.
Seems like a relatively harmless.
Oh no,
no,
it's very harmful.
Really?
And our friend Matt Bates, who we called Master Bates, would get up onto the diving board. So we dared him to do it because we were all too afraid to do it. Poor kid does it and comes down and hits his elbow, and a lifeguard has to come in and save him because he shattered his elbow doing Spank the Baby. So Spank the Baby. It became break the elbow. It was less about spanking the ass, and
it seems like you had to really try to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he did it. I was right there, and I'm like, how did you get your elbow down? But
that's not the part that's supposed to hit the board.
No, it's not. But remember that scene in what was it, Sandlot, where the kid purposely drowns so he gets kissed by
CPR
by the lifeguard. Anyway, moving on. That was a little Central Park thing. I want to talk about something that happened to me. Here's some news. I'm curious your opinion on this, Matthew.
Uh-oh.
Yesterday I got home, And I got out of the car. My wife was in the driveway with my son. They're playing basketball. And my wife says, "So, hon, where were you on May 28th at 10:11 a.m.?" I said, "I don't fucking know. I don't know where I was 5 minutes ago."
Right?
She goes, "Oh, well, you might want to go check the mail because you were speeding."
You were speeding.
I got a ticket in the mail from the New York State Work Zone Speed Enforcement Program. Here's a picture of me. I was going 58 in a 45-mile-an-hour construction zone.
Let me see that.
And I take full responsibility. Clearly, I did it. But here's why I'm bringing it up. When the fuck did this become a thing? And I don't hate it because as the son of a retired police officer, I think it's important to enforce speed on the roadways. But I kind of feel, I don't know what I feel.
All right, here's my concern.
Entrapment?
And I'm no attorney.
You are right now.
But if I was one, I only play one on podcasts. If I was one, I would have concerns for the fact.
This is what I was looking for.
Yeah, this is weird. So typically when you get a ticket, you get a ticket.
That's correct.
You as the licensed driver.
Right.
This is basically giving a ticket to your vehicle.
That is, I mean, you don't see me at all in those pictures.
And it says you are the registered owner of a vehicle that exceeded the speed limit. So it's not saying you sped. And I'm not sure that this is like points on your license.
That's the first thing I said. My wife goes, "Oh, it's okay. It's only $50." And I said, "Only $50?" I said, "Fine. But what about the points on my license? Or I'm on thin ice with my insurance company." And she's like, I don't think it's going to apply. I said,
don't think they
based
can
on what?
because, well, you have to be caught. Like, right? This is
Sure.
innocent until proven guilty. For you to,
But I think I just admitted it.
Well, that's because you're dumb. But
That's not wrong.
in these photographs, which people can't see, and I don't think we should
No.
put it up there.
Yeah.
But in the photographs, it clearly shows your vehicle. They got a close up of your license plate, but they actually blank out the windows.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So they're going out of their way to hide who the actual driver was.
So I could say.
So in any normal ticket, again, that you would get, they would have to prove you were driving the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
They're not trying to do that at all. This is a straight up this is almost like a parking ticket sort of deal.
It's crazy.
Where they found a unique way to generate
And how do I
revenue.
fight that other than it wasn't
That's
me?
one of those things.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's one of those deals.
Because I wanted to be like, hey, it was Danny Tripodi.
And that's what they're
He
saying.
was borrowing my car.
It doesn't matter. We're not going to put any points on your plate, but we're going to
But here, give me $50.
fine you this $50.
Remember-
which, in the grand scheme of things, for speeding in a work,
It kind of reminds me of
cheap.
Remember the movie Demolition Man, where you would swear and it would go, actually would go, and then a ticket would pop out of a terminal that you were standing next to, like because swearing was illegal in the future. I mean, obviously it's two different things, but
You can dispute it. It's $50. You don't want to talk about a money grab.
I know.
This isn't normally our typical content, but you can dispute it if you got some options. The vehicle is leased to someone other than the registered owner, and you got to provide an agreement copy. The vehicle or license plate were stolen. You got to provide a police report. The vehicle was sold prior to this date. Provide a receipt.
I want to say
or
Danny
other.
stole it,
You could,
but I don't want him to get in trouble.
you'd have to have a police report.
I'll be like, he stole
sort of-
it, but
sort of
we're
before
fine.
the,
Like,
before they did it. So years ago, I had an interesting thing.
okay.
I got a ticket in the mail from Herkimer. What was wild is I haven't been to Herkimer in fucking decades at this point, right? They're like, you owe us this ticket from 2003 or something.
What year was this that you?
I don't know, 2019 or something.
Oh my God!
Yeah. It was insane.
You were a
Insane.
fugitive.
So, no, what it is they hire these companies that go through old shit to find revenue, to find anybody that they don't have all the paperwork for.
Okay.
So then they tell you got to come answer for this right now, which any basic lawyer will tell you there's such a thing called statute of limitations, right? At some point, if they ain't done their thing, they ain't got you, time expired. Very typical thing in the law. But these guys, they want you to just pay it. And again, it's another one of those things where you can just cut us a check. Well, like, I don't want to do that.
Like they're doing you a favor.
Yeah, and what was wild is that was the last time I had been pulled over. Literally in 20 years, I hadn't been stopped. I don't have a ticket. I don't have nothing. And they want to, basically give me this ticket as if I just got it. Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, forget statute of limitations. There's also a thing called I don't fucking remember because it was 20 years ago.
Exactly. So we're going to have a trial. So I go to court.
No way.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, my God.
And I said to the judge, sir, this is way beyond any statute of limitations. And he's like, yeah, you're probably right.
Oh, my God.
Like, what do you want to do? He's like, I'll let you, you can dismiss it right here for $100 and we'll just go away and we don't have to argue about anything. And it was one of those like, okay, I'll fucking do that.
It's easier.
So they got the money out of me. Yep. But the reality is, straight up, if you want to fight it, but you're going to spend 5 times as much to fight it, so they get you.
Do you think it's less about the justice and it's more about like, hey, let's go.
It's a 100% revenue thing.
I was going to say,
like it's there's no.
Can you go? How can we get some money? You know what? Let's comb through some old records.
There's companies that sell this as a service to the municipalities. Like your budget is tight. Let us dig through your shit to find money for you.
Isn't that lovely?
And then we sort of harass citizens for that. Because this is something that I had taken care of years ago, but they didn't have the right paperwork. They didn't have the right whatever. So it's like, oh, you never responded to this ticket. Oh my. If I didn't actually respond to that ticket, you would have came looking for me. You know what I mean?
Dude, that is wild.
But
wild. Well, listen, before we wrap up Newsday, I want to end on a funny note. But before we do that, I think you should make the announcement. We have kind of an exciting new segment.
Oh, yeah.
We can't really say we're doing because we have to try it out first. But
no,
go ahead.
This is it. So we're very excited to announce this segment. We are going to do something called Every Town in New York.
Yes.
And the idea here, Good News York, as we've talked about many times, is a show highlighting the positivity of all things in New York State. Mm-hmm. We're based here in East Syracuse. We talk a lot about the greater Syracuse, Central New York region, but we really are here to celebrate all of our friends and fellow New Yorkers.
Adirondacks, Capital Region, Western New York, Southern Tier, New York City. You got it.
And as we think about that, how do we really celebrate that? Let's literally talk about every town in New York State. Mm-hmm. And as you can imagine, this is not going to be a short-term venture. This is something that we're going to keep as a running segment, but we're really excited to learn about all the cool little things in all the cool little towns.
Let me ask you, Matt, if you wanted to go and spotlight a random town in New York, who's the person that you should go to, right?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Mike, because our initial approach to this Every Town in New York segment is we're inviting every mayor in New York State to join us on the show and give a fun little pitch about their town.
And I'm glad you said fun.
100%.
Because I can imagine being the mayor of any town, any city, is very daunting, and you're going to do a lot of interviews with a lot of hard-hitting questions, but that's not what we're going to do.
Nope. Complete softball Jones here, and we're being very upfront about that. Our goal is not to discuss anything of controversy. We're not talking about politics. We're not talking about campaigns. We're not talking about crime or
laws, regulation,
the pandemic. We don't want to hear about any of that stuff. This is not the time for that. What we're doing here is we would love somebody to come in and sort of cheerlead for their town, because what's interesting, anybody who's done any exploration in their hometown here in New York or any neighboring towns know that each one of these many municipalities has so many cool little hidden gems.
That's right.
They've got an incredible public park. They've got some other incredible amenity. They've got businesses that are booming. They've got opportunities to start things. These are the types of things we want the mayors to come and tell us all about.
Maybe they have, hey, you got to hear about this restaurant. Not many people know. We got the best wings. We got the best burgers.
Right.
Maybe it's a fun fact. Here's a small example. I live in Ithaca. A lot of amazing things. I could rave about Ithaca for hours. Here's a fun fact. Did you know, this is on record, Kurt Cobain's ashes, some of his ashes have been spread at the Buddhist monastery in Ithaca. Did you even know there was a Buddhist monastery in Ithaca? Did you know that the Dalai Lama's headquarters in the Northeast is in Ithaca? These are things that we could talk about with every mayor. And it doesn't have to be something mind-blowing like that. We just simply want to know what's going on, what's something cool about the town. If I go there, what do we got to eat? What do we have to try? Where do we have to go?
100%. It's going to be a fun and informational segment that I think will fit perfectly right here in Good News York. And we look forward to reaching out and booking all of these. There's we started looking at, there's a ridiculous number. So the more we get, the more of a championship this will be.
And as much as we're going to be reaching out, if you're watching or listening to this, and you know the mayor, or you are the mayor, and you want to reach out to us, please. And we're talking every kind of, whether it's a village, a city, it doesn't matter how big, how small, we want to hear from you. And we want to learn, because there is such a false pretense that for people, especially that live in New York City, that it's New York City and then, upstate. Right. There's a lot up here. And
so many incredible things.
So much to highlight in a positive way.
And we're going to explore them all. And then the last thing I'll leave you on this particular segment is, we're starting out with this sort of interview format where we're meeting these mayors and either bringing them in the studio or they can join us remotely for this, 20-minute interview. Not a huge, long thing. But the next step in the progression of this is we will take this show on the road. And we're going to, Mike and Danny and I and whoever else we can stuff in the car will actually take you to some of these really cool places. So got to start with some mayors giving us some good ideas of where to go first, and that's what we're going to do.
Every town in New York is the segment coming your way here on Good News York, and we can't wait.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, I would like to end this segment on something random, because that's who I am.
Oh, dear.
My wife... My wife, she's a very nice. People used to ask me, if you had $1 million, what would you do? And it's like such a broad question. I said, there's a lot of things I do. One thing I would really do, and I don't even need $1 million for, but my wife says no, is I want a fainting goat farm. Do you know what a fainting goat is?
I do.
You do, don't you? For those of you that don't know what a fainting goat is,
you want
let's
a whole farm of these things?
I do. And here's the reason why. First of all, I love animals. Second of all, not only is it a great way to just have a pet, right? The kids will love it. You get the enjoyment of having a pet, but it's wild entertainment, because if you have a party, you go out, you scream and scare these things, and they literally, when they get scared, they freeze and they fall over as a natural defense mechanism to play dead. And with that,
I feel like that bit would get old pretty quick.
No, it wouldn't, because watch this. I got 2 videos for you.
Oh, shit.
Watch this.
He came with video.
I came with video, motherfucker. Watch this. Tell me you wouldn't love this. That one just went nosedive. Oh. Look at that. How do you not love that?
Fainting goats, everybody.
Fainting goats. Here, Danny, do the one with the UPS truck. It's like 15 seconds long. This is where the real enjoyment, because this guy's just doing it with a bell. This is when you're not even trying. I mean, look at this. The sound of the truck just stopping just made them keel over. I love fainting goats. So if anybody has a fainting goat farm out there, or not even a farm, just has fainting goats, because I don't know where you find them or what region they're from, please contact the show, and please let me come visit, and please let me scare the shit out of them, because it is just
you got to make his dreams come true.
Most amazing things ever.
And with that, this has been Good News York.
We will be back tomorrow and Thursday. Big deal if you're a Bills fan. Bills Mafia, the Don, the creator, the man who represents Bills Mafia, Del Reid of 26shirts.com and Don of Bills Mafia, going to be coming in remote for a GNY interview this Thursday. So we're very excited about that. GoodNewsYork.com.
It's like the godfather of the Mafia.
He literally is. He coined the phrase Bills Mafia by getting in a fight with Adam Schefter from ESPN on Twitter, and it turned into a whole thing.
Are we going to owe him a favor now?
I'll tell you, you might be wearing concrete Bills shoes.
Oof.
And sleeping with the fishes in Central Park. See how I brought everything back?
Wow.
And the fainting goats will rescue you. What the fuck?
Please make it stop.
Yeah, please just hit stop. Thank you.